actually win this game.
Absolutely. We can. We're in the lobby at the moment. We're getting ready to jump into the game. Also, let's talk about Team Norway. I hadn't seen them yet. Trop's the captain, who actually plays for Dude, who I casted in the Ghosty game as EU Cup, I believe, last weekend, number 18. So not the one just happening this weekend, but the one prior. Badger, as well as the tank player, the flex player for B-Fly. And then you've got Only God. It was Average Jonas and Envision all play on the same team in Norway as well. So this is a pretty quality team. Now, these guys have only had, I think, 2 days to actually get all their team together, which has been quite interesting. So they were obviously in a rush to make ends meet, as it were. But they put together a team. They feel quite confident. We do have a large amount of serious competitive Overwatch experience on this Norway roster. So, I mean, I expect this to be quite a close one, Jason. Even closer than the one where we saw with France and Portugal, which in my opinion was quite a fiery engagement.
Are they actually sticking with this? I'm not sure if they're actually going to stick with this. Yeah, as I say, they had a Torbjorn there for no reason. We did see how that worked out for AlphaCast just before on Nambani, so he's not going to be sticking with this time. But let's see, what are they going to line up with defensively? They have D-Gun on the Junkrat, which is a very smart pick. Pretty standard, I guess, across the line for the side here of France. And on the side of Norway, Average Jonas, he's sitting on Widowmaker. I don't know if he's going to be sticking with that, but they have a Widowmaker, they have a Hanzo, and I'm assuming most likely they're definitely going to be switching these.
I mean,
yeah,
Badger,
there we go.
Yeah, Badger, I mean, I expect him to see more on a Zaya role, which is what he normally sort of does for B-Fly. I don't think Horsey plays this. Bit of a shame, though, as he does have the nice skin. But, I mean, defensively here, like you said, we're going to see D-Gun on the Junkrat, which, I mean, can work really, really well. We saw Tvik use it in their match. Of course, the Swedes were very strong in this map. Or it can kind of get shut down a little bit early by things like Genji and Pharah, even to a degree, which we know that Junkrat has some problems dealing with the airborne hero in Pharah. So we'll see how D-Gun manages to make this one happen. Of course, we're going to have the Pharah Mercy combination here as well, and a Concussive Blast goes over towards the edge to try and knock people down. Already, Average Jonas is going into this fight, taking a bit of damage, but actually causing a lot of disarray, and that's kind of what you want to achieve at this stage. The crew going to come in from the backside. Didn't have enough bullets in the chamber to finish Horsey off with one fan the hammer, and now has to try and deal with Envision. Backing away, getting some health. This point, though, is being contested currently here, so we do need to see crew eventually respond to this threat up on the point. Envision is still alive. He's still causing problems. Now he's trying to chase after Kitty, and nice timing on the reflect to get the finish off.
He's going to go down, though, to the remote mine out of D-Gun. But the fight's still going on here for Norway. They have not given up on this point. You still have Onigod and Torb still here, still battling out. Torb is actually about to hit his ultimate, which is going to be very important. And Nox is going to be dropped by Onigod, and we might have seen a first attack successful push out of Norway.
Yeah, you saw a good example of why Junkrat struggles against Pharah there just beforehand as Nox, so it was D-Gun that went down to that one. I think they're going to leave the point here. There's not much chance of really contesting. D-Gun had Riptire available. We're going to make the immediate switch towards May just to secure this one up. And yes, the point will go into control of Team Norway. Good opening for them here. See some players you may not have seen before. Rest assured, they have oodles of competitive experience. Oodles. Yeah. That's a great word.
Great. D-Gun on May now. Switching over, we did see him actually play May against Portugal just before, and it worked out relatively well, where they ended up holding on to this first point with just, the entire time, actually, the second one, sorry. In the meantime, D-Gun's fighting Average Jonas in towards the back, trying to keep him, annoyed for now, as Envision's been able to pick up double kill, and even a res to come in.
Yeah, that's right. Now the Dragon Blade will be available for him, but you can see him just waiting on that one now as well to stop any respawns from coming in. This is a dominant display from the Norwegian side right now. Only got, it's going to be crew coming in and trying to stall out, and we sort of expect to see that happen. You got to allow for a Diva to get onto towards the point if she's got that defensive matrix, but still, Norway staying alive on this point. Nox needs to try and whittle their numbers down, and D-Gun going to come in with the Blizzard here, hoping to catch some people in. A couple ice spikes to the dome should settle the deal. Only God gets a shield at just the right time, and D-Gun's not able to finish off with the final shot. He may be in trouble here, though, but he gets into the backline and deals with Trop, or doesn't finish the job, though, interestingly enough there. The Transcendence healing managed to keep that Mercy alive. That might really come back to hurt the French side here now. Aggression continuing, though. Nox going in. Envision as well, trying to stay alive, reflecting as many shots, but I think the French may have just held on here.
Oh, there's going to be a second res and a Trop here. He's going for a second fight. The Earthshot as well across the 3 men who just got rezzed up, and that will be the wipe coming through. France has held on, even that looked very grim for them, but got to give credit to D-Gun just to stay alive for the most part, to keep it contested, and eventually help pick up 1 kill, which turns into 2, which turns into eventually a full team wipe. So France, good job by them to actually maintain, but Norway putting the pressure on most importantly here. They're definitely not letting France get away with this game easily.
Trop did so well to stay alive through most of that fight as well. Obviously, as Mercy, you don't need line of sight to resurrect people. You can sit behind a wall and set that kind of play up. But still got 2 reses off in the one fight there in such a chaotic scenario. Very well played to him. Now Envision comes in, the only guy with an ultimate, it's the Dragon Blade there for him, although a barrage will be forthcoming for Onigod, in fact, in the next couple seconds. We'll give it to him now. There comes the wall up though. There's Wall. Nox going in very, very deep, and now it's going to respond it here with the barrage. Comes in. Mikolo actually manages to survive that for the most part. Now backing away. Blizzard comes on towards a point. This is going to help out here in Crew just to try and shut things down, but Crew falls. It was actually Horsey to pick him off from long range there with an orb just flung in his general direction. It works out well. Discord now on towards Mikolo. The shield removes that one, of course. Bear that in mind. It allows him also to prevent the damage coming in from Horsey. The man tries to stand up, but unfortunately the Omnic Monk will not be enough.
Does he actually stand though? The Omnic Monk?
I mean, he stands for something. You know, might not be able to stand up, but you can stand for something, especially an Omnic Monk. You know, he stands for peace, he stands for justice, and he stands for, I don't know, aesthetic balls with jewels in them and stuff. You know, that's just kind of his hang-ups.
So Deegan actually put up a wall right when Average Jonas was pretty much overextended to the point where he didn't have his team with him, and he caught the wall. So like you see on Hanamura, he was able to get the charge onto him as well. But then at more importantly, the Blizzard he put down actually separated the entire team. You had Badger go in by himself with the shield so he wouldn't get frozen up. The rest of his team was sitting too far back to reinforce him. And from that alone, France was able to snowball that fight in their favor. So Deegan playing this Mei really well, especially with these tight areas.
Well, the Graviton Surge is going to come in now as well, but there's so many defensive ults to defend against that one and prevent the damage being done there. Onigod can't get much done from the sky, so now Crew going to come in with the flashbang. Envision, though, caught around the little side, managed to pick him up with a bit of damage, and now he's not being focused. Mikolo needs to address this threat right now, but he might struggle. Has to shield himself up, has to back away. Nox there, lays down the Earth Shadow, going to make it work here, but Onigod up on high. No one is there to contest him right now. He's left to his own devices and able to do damage until Crew makes his entrance. He picks up the Pharaoh in midair, but Envision again making a nuisance of himself, always coming in from the side, and eventually Norway will be able to pacify the French presence on that point. They'll take the second there with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the bank.
I think that actually could have been a holdout of France for a little bit longer because Deegan put a Blizzard down which caught two people. It caught Badger and it caught Average Jonas. And with that, Nox instead of just attacking him and killing him with just the swings with his own Reinhardt, he actually Earth Shatters Average Jonas even though he couldn't move anyways because he was frozen. And from that, with only hitting one person on an Earth Shatter when you want to hit multiples, if he could have saved it for later, could have been a big turning point. Could actually bought a lot of time, and not to mention a lot of kills for him. So a little bit of a misplay for France, but then again, you look at it as, you know, you kind of have to use everything you possibly can in any given second, considering you're on the second point anyways, and you've lost out on so many men. But just that one little tweak might have held on a little bit longer, but Norway able to complete the map where Portugal didn't. And now let's see what they can put up on defense here. They're not running a Junkrat this time, at the moment at least, as they still have Onigod on Pharah.
Defensive Pharah definitely can work, of course. I mean, you can put a lot of... I mean, you fulfill a similar role to Junkrat, I guess, if you're spamming towards the choke points there, and the splash damage is obviously going to be quite helpful for whittling people down, while people like Crew, and or D-Gun, should I say, in this case, go in and get the job done. So Crew back on Pharah here, potentially on the attacking side. Worked out really, really well for these guys, I feel, at least, on Numbani. The combo of Crew and D-Gun definitely will manage to cut open the Portuguese side there quite comfortably. So definitely need to be having your wits about you if you are Norway. Although it seems like pound for pound they stuck up a little bit more evenly against this French roster. I think Onigod and Envision causing a lot of problems. Obviously Badger has quite a lot of experience there. And we already talked about Trob, keeping himself safe when he needed to. Some nice reses coming in just to keep his team topped up and fighting away.
I would imagine with the lineup that currently France is running, like with no McCree, Onigod doesn't have really too much threat onto him. It's just whether or not Trob's going to stick with them, get an extra healing and damage boost, and Horsey can actually keep the rest of the team alive in the meantime. And you're going to see a couple of shots are being thrown out as Onigod takes out Alpha Cast. You know what? Let's make a deal here, Uber. Let's not let Alpha live that one down when he gets into the office on Monday.
I'm sure we can remind him of that. I'm sure it's pretty pertinent to him. So straight away, Crew switches off Pharah. Right, so you want to deal with Onigod there as well. Crew's not interested in trying to out Pharah Mercy, the Pharah Mercy combo as it were. I think Kitty's not even playing Mercy, so it's actually just a solo Pharah there. Fair enough. They're going to press forward though either way, and Nox goes straight over the top there. He's wasting no time in trying to rattle the cage here of the Norwegian side. Nox is forced to back away though as well, and just gets out alive very, very close by. In the meantime, Envision is cutting a swath through the rest of the French side. Kitty and Crew already fall into his hand. Mikolo not far behind. A very solid hold for Norway. They set their feet. They make a statement. They say, we are ready for you.
Crew switch over to actually Tracer. So he went from Pharah, went to McCree, and now he's on Tracer. So they're trying to be really quick about this hit. He's looking to even get behind them potentially. The problem is he's have 150 HP. If you take a direct rocket while being damaged at by Mercy, it's going to be a one-shot, and that's going to be an easy kill and a man down here for Francis. They've been pushing straight through, picks up 3 quick kills, and Vision gets a double, Onigod gets 1, and Francis falling yet again.
Yeah, very scary stuff from Onigod there as well.
Ooh.
Look at the direct hits on towards D-Gun. Oh my lord. Having to back away there as well. Quickly, at least able to get out with the dash. But this Pharah, ferociously defending this point. A very appropriate, obviously, hero choice for this map, and it's working out very nicely for Norway. That's what's most important here. 2 minutes 30 remain on the clock here for the French side to at least get the first point. Then we can start thinking about the second. But now, again, it's Nox going straight on in. We see the attempt to knock Nox off the edge with the concussive blast, not really working out, and they do a good job of corralling Nox into the side room and just managing to burst him down with the damage. AlphaCast is knocked to the ground, and Badger comes in to try and clean things up. Trob as well with the res over the top for good mesh here, and a vision that's going to put him back on his feet on this McCree. Now Dragonblade comes in from D-Gun. He was actually stunned up in that one. He goes down to 10 health. Can't follow up there because only God chased him down with a rocket. Another hold here for Norway. Looking ice cold.
Yeah, but if you're D-Gun there, you'll take that because he didn't lose his ultimate. He got flashbang out of the middle of it when he would have died anyways. So he actually keeps it, maintains it. Actually a win for him in the long run. But the way that you saw France attack, they jumped directly onto that middle platform, and Norway just responded by going to the closed quarter room towards the left. So they actually try to pull them in. Instead, France responds by going directly onto the point and eventually losing that fight.
Well, D-Gun going in as well, trying to deal with the two of them, but of course one slash to the blade is enough to damage two people, and Envision falls to D-Gun, but now the Earthshatter comes in. That's got to hurt. It's going to be Average Jonas now, causing some problems on the point, but the sound barrier going to make it much harder to fell these French foes of his. Yes, he will fall ultimately, and France, well, they finally get the point there as well. A bit of a messy one. The Earthshatter coming in there towards the end. For Average Jonas, though, not really getting the result he would have looked for.
And now the crew is going to have a pulse bomb. Miklo's getting close to a Graviton Surge. And if you can catch Trob in this combo, they don't have the res, and you have a good potential to actually cap this point really quickly, too. You can see Miklo trying to already get some percent. Crew just trying to stall off towards the side, needs to get healed up a little bit more. And they're actually trying to attack from the right, which allows Miklo to push in from the front, and this may well not be as effective as it normally would.
And we still saw Crew sneak past that one there as well. Now he gets on towards the point. D-Gun also trying to, well, just get some damage down. These two damage dealers here for France have a lot of work to do, and when Envision comes in with a flash, it's going to be pretty tricky to hang around after the fact. Nice little ice spike there from Only God to finish the job on towards Crew. This man, very experienced over a multitude of different heroes. This May coming out now will be important in the next few moments. Something you've been dabbling in a fair bit lately as well, Jason.
I dabble. A little bit. Most importantly, I think France, you saw them attack, they didn't waste any ults. They just went in, they tried to force Norway to use their own. But Crew saved his pulse bomb, and that's probably the most important thing you have to kind of take away from that fight. They're looking for that combo, the Graviton Surge pulse bomb, and just wait for the right opportunity to make this one work. And there you can see, pulling in 4 people, looking for the pulse bomb to come in as well. Transcendence can do anything for that, but Crew doesn't connect onto anything. I'm not sure where the pulse bomb actually went.
Yeah, not really sure. Maybe got eaten up. Oh, I don't really know. Honestly, no clue. Kitty now is forced to back away. Badger fully charged up and ready to rumble, chase him down. AlphaCast gets on towards Horsey here, but again, he's just trying to keep this one in stasis. Probably should look at Crew as well, who was helping him out. It's just the Lucio and the Tracer making it happen. Trob comes in for another, I guess, a resurrect there as well. He's happy to use them whenever possible, I think. And Crew dodges away, now trying to deal with Envision, but no, it's going to be the flash. Too good for the Tracer player, and now a lot of ultimates ticking up on the Norway side.
And most importantly, Trob got the res and still it didn't die. Like, this man has been able to get these reses without being killed off the back of that, which is so much more important than most of you out there would really think, because obviously you can get the extra healing, you get the extra ult percent, the extra damage you can do, and it also puts too much pressure on your other healer, which basically turns into a solo healing comp, which, as we know, Zenyatta can't AoE heal that well unless he does have Transcendence up. But Envision, let's go to him really quickly, because he's been actually Maywall boosted up into a prime position. This Dead that's going to come out of him is going to be deadly.
Yeah, the only way, if you ever see McCree up here, you know it's artificial. You know he can't get up there himself, obviously. And it's not a position you expect as well. So Envision going to give himself away. Like, it's pretty clear now to the French that he is sort of set up there, but what can they really do about it? Gizzy Horsey just going to go 1v1 Mikolo there as well. AlphaCast does drop the beat. He does drop the sound barrier, but there's so much there as well for the side of Norway, should I say. There's going to be a Blizzard coming down. Only God sets that one up and then just leaves it unattended as he's got bigger fish to fry, or freeze as it were. Coming forward now, going to be able to deal with Nox easily enough. It will at least try. Switching over towards the Reinhardt earlier on. Nox hoping to make a difference here, but unfortunately that hasn't been the deal breaker here. Norway still holding so solidly.
But Deegan did a really good job there because he actually killed Trob. He was 1v2 against Trob and Envision, so the Mercy and the McCree takes down Trob, but the problem is he does off the back of that, and the most of his team was already dead at that rate. There was a little bit of an overlap, actually, in the French lineup between support ultimates. The Sound Barrier plus the Transcendence being used within the Graviton Surge is a major waste, so Norway, I guess, realizing that, were able to actually capitalize off the back of mismanaged ultimates out of France and still maintain the point. 2 minutes left on the clock here. They're actually below the time bank that Norway does have. And this is looking good if you're from Norway here.
again. Mikolo comes in, forced to jump over the top of this. The Earthshatter comes in from Nox. Pretty timely, if I may say so. This is going to force a lot of ultimates out of the Norwegian side, but it's not seeming to be enough at this stage. Crew there gets on towards Envision now. The path is a little bit more clear for him to go, but he's going to be caught in the blizzard here, is he enough? He has to back away here from Average Jonas, who is not going to give him any space at all. Average Jonas eventually stunned up. Crew forced to back away, but the Reinhardt is indomitable in his pressure coming forward. A lot of ults used there by Norway, but I mean, that Blizzard definitely seemed to just completely mess with France's plans.
Not to mention, Kitty has actually switched over to Mercy in that last fight. He's up to 70% on Ultimate, and Deegan has recently just switched over to Reaper, so they're trying to deal with, I guess, the tanky lineup. Badger just doesn't seem to be dying too much in these fights. They lose Average Jonas, and yeah, they're maybe able to pick up a kill on a Trob or Envision, but everyone else is just staying alive a little bit too long. But these last-minute switches means they're not going to have ultimates ready. Deegan won't have his Death Blossom within the next 30 seconds. He needs to kind of power up quickly and look for that last fight.
Good charge coming in there as well. Nox just trying to make things happen, but it's cut down by Badger. Mikolo just wants to try and isolate the Zenyatta. Of course, it's poor Horsey now being knocked away. Can't quite escape. It's going to be a fist that comes through the doorway to take him out. But Mikolo, no teammates left for him. He's just got to run away. Only got hot on the heels, just trying to make sure no one really gets to run away and heal up here. Going to force some auto res in. Or spawn in, as it were. 36 seconds left here in France. This is probably the biggest challenge we've seen them face so far, and it seems as if they're maybe not up to the task here on Temple of Anubis.
And Oniga in that last fight killed both supports. Like, he killed Kitty before he got res off. He killed AlphaCast at the end as well. Like, that should never happen. And Mei shouldn't be allowed to go kill your supports. When you need that strong front line, you need to start picking up some kills here, guys. This is your last attack. This is the last chance you have to go here. They have both support ultimates ready and perfect to be used. But the thing is, they don't have a counter to the Graviton Surge. They don't have a Transcendence.
Well, Envision now going to try and get a Deadeye from the cover, I guess, the safety of the little brick stack. Gets on towards 2, he finds AlphaCast and Mikolo, and that, to be fair, should be enough there. Kitty doesn't have a Resurrect available in this fight. It was expended elsewhere, or perhaps not even used at the right time. So, just has to try and keep Crew alive as much as she possibly can, and she's doing pretty well. Crew somehow still hanging around for this fight. Mikolo gets on towards Onigod here, and Crew now free to shoot rockets down onto the direction of Badger, but Trob's still there. Finally, Envision comes back in, possibly saves the day even for Norway, as the first order of business is to pick up Crew. Nox falls not long after, and now the Blizzard coming in from Onigod should seal the deal. Deegan knows there's not much he can do. He accepts his fate. And now France must accept this first map loss. Norway coming out of the gates very strong on Temple of Anubis.
Trob is just playing out of his mind. Him and Average Jonas there. So Trob, so Kitty rezzed after the Graviton Surge to get like 2 people up, and then he got away. But more importantly, Trob came back in with the res himself, and he was in the middle of the team. He was literally right next to Nox, and Nox was already swinging away at him, but Average Jonas put down an Earthshatter that knocked Nox on his butt, and from that, Trob was able to run away. Honestly, some great synergy between him and his tank. But in general, Trob he just doesn't die easily. Like, even here, I'm assuming he won't die. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, with the amount of chaos that's been caused on that point, nicely done there by Trob.
I mean, you just see a little bit of a difference, though. Like, Deegan, he tried to focus Trob a couple of times. He killed him once, but Envision was there to protect him with McCree, so it was really hard to pull off a 1v2. But the amount of times Onigod was able to get into the back lines and kill both supports, like, over and over and over again, like, that should not happen. And you can see the difference in focus, I think, between the two teams. Or at least maybe just the ability to make strats like that work. I don't know. Obviously, when you're attacking, it's a lot harder to hit the support line when you don't have, like, a Genji or Tracer, but to allow an enemy Mei to walk through your team is something that shouldn't happen.
I mean, we're looking now at our Scandinavian teams. I mean, for Denmark, I think they've had to forfeit a couple games. I don't know if they managed to get their team sort of sorted. Iceland's actually doing quite well, but I mean, the Scandinavian trifecta of Norway, Sweden, Finland, very, very scary.
Yeah.
Some of just the strongest nations in Overwatch right now are really flexing their muscles. And even Norway, which maybe you look at the team, and if you're sort of not super deep into Overwatch esports in Europe, maybe wouldn't recognize some of the players. But these guys, while maybe haven't, achieving big accolades and having played LANs as a team, these guys are very, very good at what they do. And now, we talked about the French lineup. It does have